Hello, Feral friends. Welcome back to Feral. I'm your host, Savana Montana, and today we are talking about a pretty big debate online. The debate that we're about to get into is pretty privilege. Are you with me? You're with me. Okay, cool. Let's stop lying to ourselves. Pretty privilege is very much a real thing, and it affects everybody, whether you believe that you're pretty or not, whether you're a guy or a girl. It is a real thing. Some doors open faster for beautiful people, and that's not an insecurity thing. That's just a fact thing. That's the reality of life. On the flip side of that, being attractive can get you in the room faster, or can get you a date faster, or a job, or whatever it is faster, but it can't keep you in the room. Your personality is what keeps you there. Your you-ness, your who you are and why you're electric and magnetic, and your energy's got to match that too. Pretty is only going to take you so far. It can take you really, really fucking far, but for the most part, it's probably only going to get you in the room. Your personality has to keep you there. So anywho, the internet seems to keep debating on whether pretty privilege is a real thing or not, and the debate is over. Let the debate end right here on the Feral podcast, because it's very much a real thing. Whether it's in business, friendship, opportunity, dating, being sitting at a coffee shop and ordering your coffee and being like, it could be literally anything, but the bottom line is that it exists, and how are we going to deal with it? Before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe to the show. Leave a review, comment below, give me 5 stars, all the things, but don't forget to subscribe. You guys can follow me at Feral the Podcast across all platforms. So let's get into it. Let me tell you who the fuck I think I am. You got a minute? Wow. Pretty privilege opens quite a few doors, does it not? Whether it's a first impression, access, relationship, job opportunity, all the things. The first impression that you give is the way that you look, whether you're drop dead gorgeous or you're scruffy as hell. Also, it's up to you whether you're one or the other. There's a lot of ways around the pretty privilege thing, but I digress. Unfortunately, and fortunately for some people, the world responds to your beauty before it responds to your character, just because it's the first thing that they see. It's the first thing that you show up with. How you walk into a room, what you wear, how you do your hair, your makeup, your attitude. More importantly, all those things. People can't see your energy, but they can feel your energy. So if you're not the prettiest person in the room, you might be the most electric person in the room, which is going to keep you in that room. Does that make sense? How you show up for yourself internally sheds on the outside. The pretty part is just the first line of defense or offense, however you're walking into that room. But unfortunately, the first thing that people see is how you look. Whether it's genetic or it's paid for or it's just throwing in some effort, you got to give some recognition to yourself, whether you show up in the right appearance or if you don't. Right out the gate, attractive people are usually automatically given the trustworthy card, the competence card, the social valuable card, the likable card, just because they're attractive. Fine, cool, guys and girls alike. But that doesn't necessarily mean any one of those things is true. And that shows up in everyday life. But whether those things are true or not is completely up to that person, pretty or not. But we're talking about them because they're pretty, right? Okay. People pretty. Oh, Lord. The bloops. Let me just shove some more caffeine down my throat since it's not helping me. I'm like zooted right now on caffeine. This is when I don't need it, right before a show. But I drink it before every show. Guess that's my problem, huh? Silly goose. Okay, my notes. Can't see. People that are more attractive might get treated nicer with customer service when they're at a hostess stand, when they're ordering their coffee, when they're booking a reservation, anything, just because they're attractive. You can't fault them for that. That has really nothing to do with them and everything to do with the person that is treating them a certain sort of way. 2 people could go up and deal with the same person. If that person treats the less attractive person worse than the more attractive person, you can't fault the pretty person or the unattractive person for that. That's on the flip side. People choose how to treat people, right? We can't fault these beautiful people on everything. They might get more attention in social settings. naturally. But they could have a sweet personality too. They might be super bubbly. They might be fun. They might be nice. They can be more than just attractive. There's probably a higher amount of forgiveness when dealing with more attractive people because if they're awkward or they're uncomfortable or they feel some sort of way. I can see that in the comments and stuff. I don't know from personal experience at all. I'm also not an awkward person. I don't know shit about it, but I can see how that could be true for some of you guys. Giving people a pass. Again, when it comes to the dating thing, a lot of passes are given for the attraction card, but we'll get into that shortly. Overall, I would say getting invited to more things, more opportunities presented to you, a lot of benefit of the doubt given. And it's not fair. I'm not saying that it's fair. I'm not saying that pretty privilege is fair for everybody, but there's a lot of downfalls on the other side of it that if you don't follow suit or you don't show up in more areas than just the one, and that one being the attractive one, because that's what we're talking about, you're probably not going to last in that scenario, that opportunity, that moment, that place, thing, room, whatever. Because it takes more than just being physically attractive to make shit happen or make your dreams come true or build authentic, real, genuine relationships with people in business or friendships or relationships, any of those things. You got to show up on more than just one front. You're just going to get a pass more, maybe because you're pretty, because you're fucking hot. Okay, cool. But truthfully, the world is not as much of a mediocrity as people want to pretend that it is. And people are not pretending. And to be honest with you, most people are not being over dramatic or dramatic at all when they tell you that life gets easier after a glow up. I can speak to that from personal experience, coming from being 170 pounds to being 110 pounds. Life is different. However, thank God, thank beautiful God and Jesus and the universe and all the things that I was the way that I was before the avatar of me looks the way that I look now, because I got all my freaking personality from that version of me. I got my sense of humor. I got my personality, my happy-go-lucky, my give a damn's busted, my no bullshit, my mouth, like all the things, being able to see people for who they really are. Oh man, the people that come out of the woodworks when you glow up, as they say. I'm like, dude, you were a scumbag 15 years ago. You're still a fucking scumbag now. But I already knew that because I had a one-up, because I got to see you from a different veil. That's not the point of this conversation, but people are not being dramatic when they say that life gets easier. It's not even that sometimes it gets harder. Sometimes people assume that you're a bitch just because you're pretty or you're attractive or you're cute or you put yourself together. Well, that's shitty. Can you imagine I am in rooms with stunning, gorgeous supermodel women frequently. Some of them are the coolest people that you'll ever meet. But you wouldn't know that unless you went up there and talked to them and had a conversation and realized, wow, you're not just drop dead gorgeous, but you're actually super fucking cool. And then also on the flip side, some of them have no personality at all. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to get to know you. They snub you. It's a total gamble. Don't judge a book by its cover though, right? Don't make that assumption. Not fair. Not fair for the pretty person. Not fair for the less attractive person. Not fair for the person who's like got the best energy and most like all the spunk and pizzazz in the room. Like, just be cool, guys. Just be fucking cool. This pretty privilege argument, it's overrated. I think a lot of the hype that's in the online argument is that people confuse acknowledging beautiful people and envying beautiful people. You can acknowledge that somebody is gorgeous or cool or beautiful or handsome on social media or anywhere and genuinely mean it. You're not just blowing smoke up their ass. Granted, there's a lot of people who will do that, but I think knowing the difference and not arguing over and be like, oh, you envy these people because they're famous or because they're beautiful or because they're gorgeous or because they have this status or they have access here or whatever, that is in the beholder of whoever left that comment or whoever started that argument. If they do that or they perceive it that way, that's on them. Don't jump in the comments just to argue with them about it though, just because you don't feel that way. You can be honest and give somebody a genuine compliment without blowing smoke up their ass. And it's okay that other people do that. It doesn't mean you have to though. This is surprisingly a difficult conversation to have, especially for a solo episode, because No matter what I say, I feel like I'm offending someone. If you feel like you're in the average looking category or you're in the attractive category, I have no idea. But just for your own sense of self and your own self-worth, you should believe that you're beautiful and that you're attractive. And if you don't believe that you're beautiful and you're attractive, no one else is going to. And FYI, inside, the beauty that you have in here will leak onto the outside, which will make you more attractive than some of the most gorgeous people in the world. Whatever side of the spectrum you think you're on listening to this episode, you should think you're beautiful and attractive no matter what the fuck the internet is saying, or Reddit or Instagram or X or whatever the hell you're focusing on here. I just wanted to throw that in there. And I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here. But the exterior of your avatar and how you look and how you show up is one thing. Another thing is your energy. You guys know that I talk about this all the time. Your energy is the most important thing. It honestly, right next to the way that you show up, you look, the way that people perceive you, your energy shows up with that. So if you're getting treated a certain sort of way or a way that you don't like or a way that is like, you could live without it, reflect on yourself and see how you're showing up. How do you speak to people? How do you approach people? How do you ask questions? If you work in a customer service-based job, how are you communicating with your clients or your customers? See how that follows up, how that shows in every aspect of your life, with your relationships, with your friendships, with random people on the street or in restaurants. It doesn't matter. If you're doom and gloom towards people or internally towards yourself, that's also leaking on the outside. So people are not going to be nicer to you because you show up like a prick. I wouldn't. If I showed up like an asshole, I'm going to probably get treated like an asshole. Why? Because that's the energy that I'm putting out into the world. So that's the energy that I'm attracting to me. You have to take some sort of accountability. It's not all just looks. Like your presence and your internal, who you are in here, sheds on the outside. And I can't express that enough. And people who love themselves and treat themselves nicely and their self-worth internally you have a totally different glow based on the way that you treat yourself, and how you treat yourself and you expect yourself to show up for you will repeat and reflect on you from the way that other people treat you too. Like I said, some of the most beautiful people in the world can be the most off-putting people you've ever met, and they can be some of the most fabulous, but the same thing goes for your average looking person. It's really no comparison there. And for my listeners who have gone through a glow up, maybe once, maybe twice, multiple times, it doesn't matter. If you know that experience, you know that it's not just your face that's changing or your body that's changing or your exterior that's changing. It's also the reflection of how people are treating you on the outside that affects the way that you look at yourself and that entire glow up. Because when you show up differently for yourself and you present this new version of you to the world, what's reflected back to you is also different. That's why people are usually really happy with their glow up, because now how they've been internally is starting to show on the outside. And it's sad. It's sad because people should have treated you kindly anyway, as long as you're being a kind, good, genuine person. But now that it comes with perks, with putting in less effort, I don't know. It can be shitty because you're like, well, why weren't you just cool to me in the first place? You should have been, but that says more about that person than it says about you. And a glow up can really be a huge reflection of the outside world into you, because you're experiencing life in a totally different way. If you have grown up in your life, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If this is confusing, I am sorry that I'm not articulating myself properly here. Have you ever noticed that when you show up for yourself more, or when you get dressed up more, like you put yourself together, more people pay attention to you? Do you ever wonder why that is? To me, and this is just my opinion, when you show up for you and you present yourself in a strong, confident way that makes people stop and look or stop and think, you're showing up with presence that makes you feel good about yourself. When you walk into a room, when you show up for yourself, people want to pay attention to that. The second, and this doesn't matter what you look like. This could be as simple as styling your hair, throwing on some makeup, or getting a haircut, or trimming your beard, or buying a nice outfit, whatever. Your presentation, people will pay attention to you more because you showed up with respect for yourself. You put in the time. You showered, shaved, you did all the things. You're like, I'm here. I'm ready to meet some people. I'm ready to have real conversations. You walked in with confidence. People will pay attention to that. And it could be something as small as the way that you dress. Trust me, try it. If you don't believe me, go do it. And key point with that, when you start doing the inner work and you start building confidence within yourself, other people will feel that and they'll notice it and they'll start to treat you differently. So when you're treating yourself differently, other people will too. And it will instill confidence within yourself, but it will also instill confidence within the relationships that you're building, because everybody feels it and everybody notices it. But you in that equation are the most important part of it. No matter what, have the confidence within yourself. So dealing with it in public with complete randoms is one thing, but where it really gets heated is in dating. There's dating advantages, there's romance attention, and then there's also the downward spiral that nobody wants to talk about. In dating, attractiveness gets you attention faster. That's just a fact. That is what it is. We can cry about it. We can just learn to accept it. That is the way that it is. It's the first thing people see. People want attractive people or people that they're attracted to. Everybody's attracted to somebody different, but there is no getting around that. It is the first line into a date or into getting to know someone. Pretty privilege in dating can look like more matches. Maybe if you're on dating apps or people are sliding into your DMs or reaching out to you more, or you're getting hooked up with other people, like your friends are like, oh, you guys would make a good couple. Like, let's put you on a date, whatever. It can get you more matches because just based off of beauty alone. It is what it is. People might approach you more in real life at a coffee shop or at a bar or at a restaurant or in a setting that you're out with your friends, guys or girls. Girls I'm talking to more, as guys will come up to you. You're more approachable because you're pretty. A lot of times too, and I will say this because there's always a flip side, attractive people, highly attractive people, more attractive people, pretty privilege, sometimes gets less approached because of their beauty. It can be intimidating for people. I have plenty of guy friends who are like, I'm not going up to that girl. She's drop dead gorgeous. She probably has a boyfriend. She's probably married. Just go up and ask her a freaking question. Go introduce yourself. Go buy her a drink. What is the worst thing a person can say to you? Whether you're a guy or a girl approaching someone for a date, the worst thing they can say to you is no. No, I'm not interested. Please don't buy me a drink. I have a girlfriend. Whether it's true or false, that's the worst of it. So for the fellas that are listening to the show, if you see a gorgeous woman, don't just write her off because you're intimidated by her. She might be super fucking cool and beautiful. That's a win. Second chances is my favorite because I have given men, myself, way too many second chances because I was attracted to them. So I can imagine for many of you listening, you've done the same thing. Or maybe you're the person who's gotten a million second chances and you're like, yeah, it fucking rocks because I can just fuck up and make a ton of mistakes and she'll always come back or he'll always come back. Well, I've been on both sides of it and that is not always true. Getting a million chances might not be exactly what you want, but for pretty privilege, it's definitely a thing. Also, I think that more people try harder for attractive people when they find somebody or meet someone that they're very attracted to or they genuinely want to get to know. They'll go more out of their way to impress that person. And I don't even think that's a bad thing. I think it's sweet. I think spending the time and energy and effort to impress somebody that you like or that you could potentially like is like one of the best things that you can do. If it's based on attraction alone, that's not the person's fault. It's not the attractive person's fault. It's not the person that's trying to get them. Fault, whether they're both hot or not. Will some people try harder? Even if, like, let's say that you're some drop dead gorgeous girl and a total dweeb or somebody that you're not interested in all just keeps approaching you and tries really, really hard. Like, oh, I just want to take her on a date or I just want to buy her some flowers or I want to have dinner with her or whatever. Eventually, persistency is going to get that kid what he wants, right? Like, I'm not even interested in this person, but he's trying so hard that I might as well give him let's just go have a drink or let's meet for a coffee or yes, you can buy me dinner. Let's do it. You might meet your person or you might have one of the best friends of your life or you might be like, okay, I did it. We're done here. You understand where we're at on different levels here. Okay. But people will go more out of their way for people that they're highly attracted to. And when you're dating somebody or you're interested in someone, or if you're in a situationship with someone who has their attraction over you, a lot of times you have major leniency with the red flags. You toss every red flag out the window. You're like, nah. Shit that you wouldn't tolerate from anyone else or someone that you're not very attracted to, you will tolerate from someone that you think is a smoke show, which is our own fault, okay? We are the idiots doing that. Whether you're a guy or girl listening to this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We've all done it. Benefit of the doubt, excuse this, bad excuse there. That was a lie. You definitely cheated. All the things, all the red flags, we wrap them up in a bow tie of caution tape and we throw them out the car window because we think they're hot. And it's stupid. It's so silly. Those relationships never last, by the way. But we've all been the big dumb idiot that's been there. I have, so. But attention is not the same thing as respect. And I really want to hone in on that because just because you see a beautiful woman in a highly desired relationship or with some super successful man or just any person, like you could look at people and be like, they don't seem like a match that really makes any sense at all. A lot of times desire is mistaken for a place of power, and that can heavily affect the way a woman is valued in that relationship. Sometimes it's status, sometimes it's access. Some guys want a pretty woman just for status, just because it makes them look better, just because he wants to be seen with her on his arm. That is like one of the hardest truths of the world. And I would say you could probably see a lot of that in Hollywood or with influencers or just successful men, maybe politics, maybe business, maybe Wall Street, the whole lot of it. Not to throw any of those groups under the bus, but that is a big thing. There's so many women that are with powerful men that are actually not happy at all because they live a facade of this life that's so privileged and so beautiful, and she's beautiful and this and that. And she's got all the things and he takes such good care of her. And then behind closed doors, they're fucking empty. She's empty and she's not fulfilled and she's not happy, but she's beautiful on the outside and inside she's dying. So again, we can't judge a book by its cover or judge a relationship. And I feel like women mostly get thrown under the bus for that shit. The first thing out of everyone's mouth when they see a gorgeous girl with a man in power is she's a gold digger. Whether it's an age gap, a ugly, pretty thing, she came from this and now she has this, so she's dating him for status, she married him for money, or all this shit. The woman is the first person thrown under the bus. The powerful man doesn't get any fucking bad rep at all. It's always her fault. Why is that? We are so quick to throw women under the bus. It's actually bananas. It's bananas. And it kind of pisses me off. No, it actually really pisses me off because we have no idea the behind the scenes. We don't, but we'll just throw the woman under the bus right out the gate. Why? We got to stop doing that. It's not cool. And I personally know pretty girls or beautiful women who get placed in these fantasy roles by men and their partner barely knows them at all because they didn't ever want to know them on a deep level. They wanted them for all these exterior reasons or all these really stupid reasons, and they sucked them in. Not that a woman doesn't have fault in those relationships. You choose who you marry, you choose who you date, you choose who you spend your time with. Absolutely. But pretty women can have options on who to be with and who to date. And you can say that there are different options that you have, fine. But that doesn't mean that all of their options are good. Sometimes their options are terrible. Beauty can increase the quantity of men that you attract or people that you're with or men or guys that you want to date. But it doesn't necessarily increase the quality of that man. The quality of those kinds of men can drop significantly because the masses are coming to a woman based on her looks and her perceived value, and they might not value her at all. They could be total scumbags. They're like, well, I just want her for her looks, or I want her because she makes me look better, you know? And I'm not saying that all guys are like that, so chill out. I'm not throwing all you guys under the bus, but there is a big chunk of dudes that are that way. And I would venture to say that there's probably a significant percentage of successful or powerful or strong-willed men who are fabulous providers that don't want a strong, independent woman. And she's gorgeous on top of that. They're like, you are the package that I want, but sometimes the internal of that package that you get has an opinion, has a loud mouth, wants to do what she wants to do, likes making her own money, just stands on fucking business. And you should, no matter what your exterior looks like as a woman, always stand on business, have integrity, make decisions for yourself, choose you, set boundaries, set standards. Every individual is owed that to themselves, men and women alike. But In some relationships, women let men take their independence or warp their sense of control. And that person, that fire, that maybe that reason that person was ever attracted to you in the first place has fizzled out because they didn't want all those qualities that you have. They want you to stay silent. They want you to just shut up, not have an opinion, take care of everything, and be beautiful on the outside, which is fine if you live in the 1950s. And some chicks today in 2026 are cool with that. There's nothing wrong with it. But some aren't. Whether you've got the pretty privilege or not, you can feel both ways. But being wanted by a man and being cherished by a man are two very completely different things. Pretty privilege can get you pursued, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be loved well, or your standards will be met, or your boundaries will be held sometime. And people can present something super beautiful going in, and then they totally change once they marry you. This has been brought to my attention a lot by lots of beautiful women and lots of handsome men. A lot of things change with marriage, and a lot of things don't. Maybe everything is exactly the same. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe everything's different. Maybe that's the problem. So keep an eye out. Keep your eyes peeled for the relationship side of being in the pretty privileged standard, maybe. And maybe guys who have never been with a beautiful woman or a pretty woman and everybody's pretty and everybody's beautiful. Everybody's vision of this is different. That's why this is such a silly ass debate online, because how we see each other is not the same. But some men might think that they want the supermodel or the drop dead gorgeous girl. And then as their relationship progresses, they end up resenting that person because maybe this beautiful woman gets more attention than them, or makes stronger relationships, or goes further in her business. Like, it can create a lot of resentment because you think that you want what you want, and then once you have it, maybe the reality is not the same. And ironically enough, the same traits that get a woman, desired by anybody, by opportunity, relationships, whatever it may be, are the same things that get her objectified, reduced, disrespected, doubted, envied by other men and other women. It's a freaking toss-up. It's a total catch-22. The same benefits that come along with being pretty privileged are also the downfalls, because you can get treated completely different in a negative way just as much as you can get treated differently in a positive way, just based on your looks alone. So maybe we just stop judging people by their looks, whether they're pretty or you think that they're not pretty. Think about it. Off rip, beautiful women, look at supermodels, look at celebrities. The sexualization around them is astronomically higher than it would be around an average person, is it not? Think about it from a relationship standpoint. They could be with a partner that's more insecure because just the way that person looks. Whether you're a guy or a girl, you can be with a handsome, gorgeous guy and he gets hit on by chicks all the time. And you're like, oh my God, I'm so insecure. Like, everybody's hitting on him or trying to talk to him. And like, why is he with me? You can get in your head. Guys the same. Can create a lot of jealousy. Maybe your partner is just a super jealous freak. And then they start to change. Like, well, don't wear that. Don't dress like this. Don't leave the house. We're not going there. People get real crazy. Jealousy is a green-eyed, ugly monster that no one should ever have. But once it shows itself, it's usually there to stay. Jealousy is something that I feel like people always have. But that can show up in relationships like this. You don't want to be with somebody that's jealous. And you can't change the way that you look. I mean, you can. And if you feel like you're less beautiful and you want to get a bunch of plastic surgery, go for it. Injections, Botox, all the things. The truth is, especially with women, beauty doesn't last forever. We age, especially if you're a white bitch like me. You get crow's feet, you get forehead wrinkles, filler, Botox, plastic surgery, hair extensions. These are not hair extensions, by the way. People ask me this all the time. This is my real hair. But that's just a side note because I talked about it yesterday. Anyway, you can make yourself more beautiful if you want to. Go back a couple episodes, we talk all about this. But people sometimes just assume that you are dumb or you're privileged or you're shallow or high maintenance just based off your looks too. How is that cool? Where's the privilege in that? People might just write you off right away based on the way that you look. So pretty people don't have it all benefited. It's easy to get confused on your actual friendships are the people who genuinely care about you and want to be around you, and the people who just want you for your access or because you have something to offer them or because it benefits them in some sort of way. Usually I would say socially, but how is that benefiting the pretty privilege? That seems like pretty shitty, if you ask me. Pretty privilege may increase your dating points in that kind of situation, but your emotional intelligence is what's going to give you the clarity and the truth of your love life within any personal relationship that you have. Which brings me to my next point. And it's the part that nobody conveniently wants to admit, which is your looks can get you into the room. Your personality is what's going to keep you there. So if you're only one-sided on one thing, good freaking luck staying where the opportunity led you, because you're not going to be able to keep it if you can't contain both. Your face or your outfit or your hair or your style might get people curious and want to engage in a conversation with you, but your personality is what's going to keep you there. Your energy, your zest, your positivity, your point of view. Like you have to show up energetically to keep yourself in a conversation like that, or build a friendship or build a relationship or get into business with somebody. The look is just not enough. So pretty privilege, we can bitch and moan and talk about it all day long, but that's only one part of it, which might benefit that person and it might not benefit that person. Beauty with no depth gets boring really, really fast. And your attraction can create people to come to you and want to talk to you and build relationships with you. But substance is what creates loyalty, what creates trust, what creates security, and taking that relationship or that opportunity a step further. Being hot is not a replacement for emotional intelligence, for confidence, for kindness, for your conversational skills or your standards or your self-awareness. You have to be completely self-aware. You have to stand on it. You have to have your you-ness, okay? Because that's what's gonna build and create trust and meaningful relationships. And being hot is only one part of that. And you see them all the time, probably on TV shows the most. Like your hotness can only take you so far. And it takes some people really far. Some people make it extremely far with being silly and goofy or dumb and just plain out hot. But there's a special place in the world for people like that. And let them have their moment, let them shine, let them do it. But for people who want to build on top of their attraction or their looks or their pretty privilege, they have to go a step deeper. Start building all the skills. I'm sure the people that are listening have more than just the exterior skill. But for those of you who don't, hone in on it, because it's only going to make you stronger and more confident and better off in life with the genetic skills that you've already been gifted by God. Some people rely so heavily on being desired that they fail themselves by not building any personal skills beyond the identity of their appearance, which is very one-sided, and it's such a shame. And if I'm honest, and you guys will agree with this, I'm sure, some of the most magnetic people in the world may be conventionally attractive. Maybe not the hottest person in the room, maybe not the smoke show, maybe not the loudest or the smartest or all the things, but they're self-assured. They know themselves. They like themselves. They come with presence. They come with confidence. They take care of themselves. They're intellectual. They're genuinely interested in conversation. They might not be the hottest person in the room to some people who value or maybe overvalue attraction, but to me, I would rather date an average looking guy or a less attractive guy, or maybe not even a hot guy at all, who's got fucking charisma, who shows up in the room, who knows what he wants, who has something to say, who has strong opinions, who stands on his business. I feel like that's more attractive in a man than looks, because that's something that you can hang out with and spend time with for the next 50 years. If all they are is hot and they're disrespectful or they're boring or they're uninteresting or they just don't really give a shit about anything, and maybe they're so into their looks that they don't even care about you because they're so into themselves. Like there's a lot of archetypes that can come along with the pretty privilege thing. But for the conventionally attractive people that nobody wants to talk about, they're probably the coolest people in the room. They're probably so much fun to hang out with. They're probably people that you could be friends with for the rest of your life or be in serious relationships with. And they off the bat get less credit because they don't have the perfect jawline or the perfect nose or the perfect set of teeth or the best haircut or a tan or the tattoos or whatever you guys are attracted to. But that's so unfair because they might be the frickin' coolest. Pretty is powerful, sure, but presence is unforgettable. You'll always remember the way that somebody made you feel more so than what they did, what they said, but how a person makes you feel, you'll never forget it. And the best kind of people in the world embody that. And for the people out there that all they have is pretty, time will humble you. It will, because we age. And especially, like I said, if you're the classic white bitch like me, no ass, no tits, just I know eventually I'm gonna have to get Botox and I'm gonna have to like fluff all this up to look the way that I want. If all you have is pretty, you're gonna spend a bunch of freaking money on it later. So humble yourself now and focus on your internal beauty so that it can just add to how beautiful you are on the outside. Words to live by, baby. Your looks will get you access. Your personality will gain you respect. Standards will give you peace. You want all of those things. Everybody wants access, everybody wants respect, and everybody wants peace. So if you can configure that, no matter what you look like or what you feel you look like, learn how to embody those traits. So if you're beautiful, build substance within your beauty. If you're not the prettiest person in the room or you feel like you're not the prettiest person in the room, don't confuse that with being powerless. Your internal and your energy and how you show up and how you treat yourself and how you treat others means way more than just that one thing, because that one thing can only take a person so far. All the other traits and characteristics that you embody are what gives you power. And people who are pretty and have those powerful skills are like people to be reckoned with. So if you don't have one, you can have many others. And not everybody checks every single box, I promise you. Nobody is like the perfect 10. I mean, there probably are some people who are like the perfect 10. But for the most part, no one is perfect. So gain as much of the personal skills as you can because it makes you hotter on the outside anyway. And real magnetism is layered. You have humor, you have confidence, you have people skills, you have intelligence, posture, self-trust, all the things. Show up with energy. Show up as yourself. Build on your people skills and show up in every single room like that, because that kind of person is going to win more times than not. So just keep showing up and keep being yourself and be the best version of yourself. Don't worry about the pretty people that are in the room. You can be just as pretty in totally different ways. Before we jump off, I'm gonna reflect on a couple of the questions based around this topic, and then I will let you guys get on with your feral frickin' Friday. Is pretty privilege real, or are people just using it as an excuse for why others succeed? Both can be true. Obviously, pretty privilege is definitely a thing, but people who are using as an excuse why others succeed just sound fucking lazy. Like they don't want to do shit. So they can't just fault everybody who's beautiful that has success. There's a lot that goes into success. It's not just one thing. And if you just want to sit on your ass and complain about the rest of the world, well, then we know what kind of person you are. And that's internal. You got to change a lot of things about yourself in order to win and succeed like other people, but you can't just blame their beauty on everything. So I would say both can be true. Why do I feel angry after my glow up? Because people treat me better now. Well, first of all, I don't know why you're angry. I feel like it's more of a positive thing than anything, but you could be angry because it's triggering something in you that you felt or you experienced before your glow up, right? So it might just be taking you backwards and putting you in a headspace that you were in before you had your glow up, and you're reflecting on that now. So try not to do that and try to just enjoy your glow up and be happy with who you are. And also recognize the fact or the who's that are treating you better now, and realize maybe these are just new people in your life and it's completely random, or if it's people from your past who treated you like shit before your glow up, put them in a box of their own. Categorize those people and just be like, look, you weren't cool to me then. Now all of a sudden you're cool to me because you feel like I have something to offer you, or what, maybe you want to sleep with me, maybe you want to hook up with me, maybe you want to be my friend because I have this status or that, or whatever. It could be a billion freaking things. But hold those people where they belong and just keep them to the wayside. That's okay. But that could be why it's making you angry, because you're reflecting or you're going back into a past state of mind that you were in prior to the glow up. Do attractive women actually have it easier in dating? Yes and no. Yes, because people, come to them more. We talked about this previously. They have more opportunity. People come on to them more. People communicate with them more. They might have more matches, yada, yada, yada. But no, because they're probably going through more men. Because if people are just coming to them or coming to you because you're more attractive, you're probably going through more men and kissing more frogs because you're like, yeah, he's cool, but this, and this, or he only wants me because of this, or It could be status, job, all the things. But if somebody's just focusing on you because of your attraction, it's not enough substance to last in a serious relationship. So that essentially makes it harder for pretty people because the person that's trying to date them only wants them for one thing. And as soon as they pick up on that, if they have any self-respect at all, they're going to throw them to the wayside because they're like, dude, you just want me for this, or girl, you just want me for that, whatever. And that's not real. It's not authentic. It's not true. And it's not going to keep that relationship going or thriving or growing for any sort of extended amount of time. So do attractive women really have it easier? Yes and no. Which one would you rather have? Can personality really make someone more attractive, or is that just what people say to be nice? Yes, it 1000% can. This is why you see smoke shows with guys that you're like, why would she ever date him? It could be for other reasons too. But when you see a couple that's actually happy, they're totally into each other, they travel, they have fun together, they joke around, their kids are super involved, like whatever. There could be a million avatars that you're looking at. But personality can 1000% make somebody more attractive because that's what you have to hang out with all the time. Is their personality, is their sense of humor, is their way of life? How do they get through a day? Are they super aggressive? Are they always complaining? Or is everything the sky is falling? Are they super controlling? Or are they like, no, life is good, life's cool. Good personality, positive vibes, super funny, interested in what you're doing, actually genuinely care about your well-being, your success, your health. That's a healthy relationship. That makes people more attractive because they genuinely give a shit about you, not just one thing about you or just a couple of things about you that benefit them. So I would say not only does it make somebody more attractive, but it's a more desirable relationship as a whole. Is it wrong to improve your appearance if you know society rewards it? Probably the unpopular opinion, but no, you're gonna do it anyways. If you wanna do it, you're going to do it. Just remember to do it for yourself. Not only for what society is gonna reward you with, but also for how you're going to reflect on yourself. If it makes you feel better or stronger or more positive about yourself or more confident within you, go ahead and do it. That's just the world that we live in today. You can subscribe to any kind of beauty. You can go in monthly and get your teeth whitened or your eyebrows done or your lashes filled or your nails or tan or Botox, filler, whatever. Like that's just the world that we live in today. So anybody who's like, that's very wrong to do, sure, I can understand it from their point of view, but as long as you're doing it for yourself, even knowing that a bonus is that the world might treat you differently or reward you for it, nah, it's not wrong. It's reality. So go ahead. Just use it as a freaking tool. It's a beauty tool at the end of the day. As long as it doesn't become your entire personality or your whole entire self-worth and you're obsessing over it and nipping and tucking and fixing every single flaw and obsessing over your flaws, then you're fine. If it goes down that route, it becomes very unhealthy and you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And then obviously the answer is yes, that's wrong. But if it's as simple as you're stating it, then no. Do men experience pretty privilege too, or is this mostly a woman thing? A million times, yes. Guys deal with it just as much as girls do, especially today's day and age. I feel like naturally guys look more girly than they did. So, I mean, like these kids are much younger than me, but I look at the guys on the internet or the kids that walk around the neighborhood that are in high school and I'm like, they're kind of feminine looking. Like everybody has a pretty face. Maybe it's just because I live in South Florida and I grew up with like macho, masculine, like cowboys for men, literally. But I feel like guys are prettier than girls these days, and it's a little concerning. I was not ever like a pretty boy attracted type. I like a masculine man. But yes, guys deal with this too. And does it benefit them? Sure. But I feel like the difference between guys dealing with pretty privilege and women dealing with pretty privilege is that women are often judged or objectified over it more. Guys don't really have to deal with so much of the negative as much as women do, although I'm sure they have to deal with it, especially male models. They probably get a lot of issues that it deals with, or maybe they're like genuinely really, really nice guys and they're super hot and they attract toxic women. And they're like, oh my God, I can't find somebody to love because everybody just wants to sleep with me and no one really wants to get to know me for who I am. Guys deal with that too. I know it sounds crazy, but it's a real thing. So like I've said before, women in dating are just as vicious as men, if not worse sometimes. Depends on where you live, but I've seen it all and I've heard it all. So the guys can deal with it just as much as women can in all the same categories, absolutely. All right, well, that wraps us up for the day. I hope you guys feel a little bit more confident in the way that you're feeling or the way that you're looking, or if you're somebody that's dealing with pretty privilege, you're being judged for it, or you're jealous of it, or it's driving you nuts, or you're a part of this debate on the internet, then I hope that this episode helped you get a little bit of perspective, at least my perspective and my opinions on the things. But all in all, focus on yourself. Be pretty inside and out. You're all gorgeous just the way that you are. And just because one person or 50 people told you that you're unattractive doesn't make it true. It just means that you're talking to the wrong fucking people. Okay. But yes, all in all, it's pretty privileged thing. It absolutely is. Is it apparent for men and women? Absolutely. Are most of those things the same? Probably. Can they be more exaggerated or different for women in negative and positive ways? 1000%. But this is just the world that we live in. So I'm sorry, it's real. Pretty privilege is a thing, and don't let it affect you too much. Just go on with your bad self. So if you like this episode, please comment below, leave me a review, give 5 stars, share it, like, repost, all the things. You guys can DM me, whatever you want to do. Make sure you guys follow the show at Feral the Podcast, whether you're on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, all the things. You guys know where to find me. Make sure to subscribe so that we can stay in the loop together. You guys can also follow me at my personal account, Savana_Montana. Unfortunately, my TikTok account was banned and I have no idea why. So I don't know if it's ever going to come back or not, but hopefully we'll see. I don't even know why I got banned, so I can't even tell you guys the story. So super boring, but everywhere else you guys know where to find me. So until next time, you know what to do. Stay feral and stay beautiful, stay pretty, no matter what anybody says. Take your pretty privilege or make it up for all I care. Okay. I love you. Bye. Mwah. Let me tell you who the fuck I think I am. You got a minute?